wow, and wow. And this is what I'm talking about. And do you know what the funny thing is? The utility companies and the rating system has not caught up. You've basically cut your utility usage in half.
Welcome back to Cracking the Code. I'm David Holt, your host, and I am absolutely honored to be able to sit down with Mr. Anton Martin of English Air. He's one of our contractor university members. He actually is a contracting business owner in Florida, and as a special added component to his resume, he's also a board member for EGIA. So he helps guide us in some things that we do, and he's also very involved with other manufacturer and industry organizations. So we're going to talk a little bit about that on this interview. So welcome to Cracking the Code, Anton.
Thank you, David. It's just a pleasure to be here. A pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. So I always like to start off with these kinds of interviews, if you will, with give us your beginning story. How the heck did you get into the HVAC industry? So
I was born in England and grew up in England, and I was a pipe fitter, and I was a pipe fitter's helper, and anyone needed help, I was there. That's I was young, and one day an AC guy needed help, and when he walked into the room, everybody in the office, they almost started cheering. They were over the moon happy that this AC guy walked in the room, because it was an office and they'd been without AC for quite a while, maybe all day, maybe a couple of days. So before this man had even done anything, he almost got a round of applause just by walking in the room. So I was like, I want to be that guy. Not only that, he was also the type of AC guy who had his tools in a suitcase. And he was impressive. So out of all the people I worked with welders, pipe fitters, you know it. I was most impressed with him. I was like, I want to be an AC man. I want to be that dude.
That's pretty amazing. And that's actually the first time I've ever heard anybody say they wanted to be a hero. That's why they joined the HVAC industry. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, as I said, if you're in an office building and the AC goes out for a day or so, and you're waiting for that guy patiently, you're happy when they get there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and think about it. I mean, a couple of years ago in 2020, now it's already been 6 years ago, which is crazy to think. The federal government here in the United States classified the HVAC industry as essential. I guess those office workers that you saw also felt the same way.
Yes. And especially here in Florida, we can touch the 100 degrees, and you want the AC to be working. You want it to be working, so.
Yeah, and not just 2 or 3 months out of the year, but 12 months out of the year in Florida, right?
Every month out of the year, we use some AC. We use some. Yeah.
And that's actually really to your advantage in the HVAC business in Florida, because it does get a lot of runtime, doesn't it?
It does. Now, I'm not encouraging contractors to come down here. Florida is full. We don't want you can come down to visit, but we don't need no more AC contractors down here in Florida. We're all good now.
It's not that good of a market after all. Okay, that's it.
It's
we're just trying to be real here, right, Anton?
We're just full. The parking lot is full. Disney is full. Everywhere is full. Come to visit, spend your money, and then go home, please.
That's right. Go home. That's awesome. But that's exactly the kind of thing that we wanted to hear. So thank you from your Chamber of Commerce. Yeah. Oh, that's absolutely awesome. But here's a funny thing. I mean, when you think about a market like Florida, and you think about how much runtime you get, and of course, especially as you get closer to the coast, you got the good old sand and salt.
Yeah. Salt.
Just eats these things up, man. Thinking about all that kind of stuff, I mean, it's super important for you to be able to offer heating and cooling solutions that are super efficient, super quiet, super effective. How have you been attacking that as a contractor?
Well, we've really embraced the inverter technology. And when you start to research the inverter technology, and in the best endeavor to serve our customers, to give them, the best bang for their buck, to make sure that when they spend their money, that they're happy not just the first summer, the second summer, or the first week or the second week, but throughout the whole summer and for years to come. Inverter technology is just way the best choice. As far as I'm concerned, it's like the smartphone in the AC world. You know, if you don't have a smartphone, then you really don't have a phone. If you don't have an inverter, as far as I'm concerned, you got robbed. Because what these things can do compared to a conventional AC system is night and day. It's night and day.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
I've been in this industry, well, really realistically my whole life, and I'll be 68 years old this year. But, you know, I've gone from seeing, you know, typical single stage equipment to, oh my gosh, we got 2-speed now, right? And then we got variable speed, and then we got this crazy thing called an inverter, where it's like all kind of speeds, right? I mean, I don't even know how many speeds there are on some of these things these days, because it's
variable speed heat pumps.
Yeah, they're variable speed, and it's just it is an amazing technology. And I live in a house here in Georgia, so I'm just a northern border state for Florida. And
Georgia's a beautiful place to be too.
That's right. Everybody moved to Georgia. No, we closed too. We don't want any more. We're good. We're good. Have you tried to drive in Atlanta? I mean, oh my God.
Yes.
Nuts. Anyway, but in my house is 22 years old. And of course, the original equipment, when we bought it, still had the original equipment in it. We did buy it only about 10 or 11 years ago.
Was it a block or is it a wood frame?
It is a wood frame house with brick outside, brick exterior. It's a
brick veneer.
Yep, a brick veneer. It is about 3,000 square feet, just under 3,000 square feet. It's very well shaded. It has a dark roof. So I'm giving you all the load calc stuff for you right now. And when we bought it, it had 2 standard efficiency single stage heat pumps, one on each side of the house. So we were zoned with equipment, right? We had 2 thermostats. We had 2 pieces of equipment, split heat pumps. And, you know, they worked fine for a minute. And then my wife, who, of course, is married to a heating and air guy, is very used to having multiple thermostats throughout her house. So she was okay with having 2, but she says, why do we only have 2? Right. And so last year, finally, it took till last year to do this. Last year, we installed an inverter with a variable speed air handler, and we completely ripped everything out, duct and everything, started all over, redesigned it to be a 3-zone system. So we got a nice controller tied to our nice inverter HVAC equipment. And in 2024, our highest temperature was lower, outside temperature was lower in Georgia than in 2025. We did the install in April of 2025, but the temperature in 2024 was lower, but our power bill for our peak month was over $600 for a 3,000 square foot house. That's crazy.
And that's with the old system.
With the old system, right, with the old system. Then come around to April of the next year, we put in the new system, the peak month 1 year later, less than $300.
Wow. And this is what I'm talking about. And you know what the funny thing is? The utility companies and the rating system has not caught up. They've got no clue. You've basically cut your utility usage in half, virtually in half. But the SEER rating doesn't catch that. The utility companies don't know what's going on. So it's kind of, I don't know why they're so far behind, but I heard that they put about 10,000 of these units all over the country to check on their energy usage during peak season. Zero of them were running at 100% capacity in the peak of summer. A lot of them were running at 50% capacity in the peak of summer. 95 degrees. Imagine that. 95 degrees. And let's imagine you've got a 5-ton unit, but it's only pulling the energy and only running 2.5 tons.
Right.
When it's 95 degrees outside.
Right. makes a huge difference.
Needs this.
Yeah, and I'll finish the rest of the story on my house.
Yeah.
I pulled out 5 tons. I put back in 3 with a 3-zone system, and it's more comfortable than it's ever been. Clearly, the power bills are fantastic. We actually have fresh air ventilation coming into the system. We have a nice, huge air cleaner in there, nice HEPA type air cleaner. The static pressure, I'm an old NCI guy, so I got to check static pressure and airflow and all that. Yep. So all that stuff is dialed in perfectly. And
how did you end up going from a 5-ton to a 3?
How?
Yeah.
It's called diversity with the zoning system. Think about when the sun is going over the house. This side of the house is warmer. This one's got more shade. So we put the air over here because I got a thermostat over here. Then it gets up here and it starts to get a little, anyway. So you're
smarter than the average bear.
You know, I actually stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night. So yeah. So anyway,
you get paid to say that.
The technology, that's brought to you by Holiday Inn. So the technology is out there, right? And the knowledge and the application is out there. But unfortunately, you think about all those houses in Florida and all those big, huge subdivisions that have been built. Yeah. Who's the owner that makes the decision of what to put into those houses? Is it the homeowner or is it the builder?
Well, the crazy thing is that you're saving about $300?
Yeah, during peak season, yeah.
$300. Let's just say you're averaging $200 savings a month. Let's say you're averaging that. You times that by 12.
Yep. 24 times 12.
$2,400 worth of energy savings.
Yes, sir.
For a year.
Yeah. And while the unit's still in
your IRA.
Yeah, and let's say while the unit's still in warranty, so take that 2,400 times 12 years, and let's see what that does.
Right. And then people say, well, could you quote me a 2-speed? It's not going to do it. Can you quote me a single speed? It's not going to do it.
Yeah, you can't. I can, but I won't. Right? Why would you do that to your customer, right?
Because you're basically robbing them over the lifespan of that unit of $28,800. $28,000.
I only paid $34,000 for mine. Now this was a complete renovation. It was a huge
job. But think about that. For the life of the unit, you're saving the customer $28,000.
That's with no rate increases, by the way.
So maybe we need to start going up to customers and saying, hey, how about I give you $28,000 over the next 12 years?
Yeah, how about that?
How about that?
I think you just added that to your sales call, didn't you?
I think I just did. Because you're an inspiration, Dave. I mean, I looked at your numbers and I'm impressed. I didn't know you did the diversification there with the East and the West.
Yep.
We normally only see that in the commercial applications.
Yep.
In the heat recovery stuff.
Right.
But that's the way to go.
It absolutely works. And I've been doing zoning. I did zoning back in the 90s. So, and back before the technology was anywhere near where it is today. But, it's amazing what you can do with the technology, and so it's up to us as contractors to embrace the technology, learn how to actually use it. I mean, the reason we got really good at zoning is the first job that we did residentially for zoning was at my own house. And once we did that at my own house, my wife became a big fan. And one of the things that's interesting that I learned as a contractor is if you were to ask customers to rank 4 words in terms of what's important to them, if you said efficiency, if you said comfort, if you said safety, if you said health, if you put those 4 words in front of the customer and ask them to rank them in order, what's their top priority? Interestingly enough, most women that I was sitting down with, because I had these on 4 cards and I'd put them in front of the customer, I'd slide them in front of the wife, usually if I've got two people there. And I'd say, would you please read these cards real quick? So I had the definition of what each one of those words said. Read these cards and rank them in terms of their importance to you and your family. And she looked at them and she would say, safety, health, comfort, efficiency. Isn't that interesting? So we're sitting here talking about efficiency because we think that's cool and we can measure that efficiency and we can see that result. That's awesome. But reality is homeowners would rather be safe, healthy, and comfortable. And I tell people all the time, efficiency comes along for the ride, because if I put in the safest, healthiest, most comfortable system, it's going to be efficient by default, no extra charge.
Well, do you know what's also amazing about that, the new modern inverter systems and that zone system compared to the old zone systems? Well, the old zone systems, we all know we had a bypass damper. Well, on the smart zone systems, you don't need no bypass damper, because you just weight the unit so the fan speed's going to be according to each zone. So you can say, hey, give me 40% for downstairs and give me 60% airflow for upstairs. And that fan's going to ramp up and down. See, there's no recirculating of air like you did with the old zone system. Makes it even more efficient. It's kind of, it's mind-blowing, the technology out there. And it's really important for homeowners and contractors to educate themselves so they can give the customer the best option and put $28,000 back in their pocket.
It's an amazing thing. So thinking about all this craziness, I mean, like, you know, we got this technology going on in our industry that's fantastic. We got technology that's trying to help us run our business, like AI, right? Mm-hmm. We got all these different things going on in the industry, but in the long run, it's still a people-to-people business, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is. And, you know, it's so important that that we listen to our customers, and we learn to connect and we learn to communicate. It's really all about communication, understanding your customers' wants, desires, and needs, and kind of reaching into the bag and giving them what we call the best fit.
Yeah, yeah. We had a little way that we did it with my dad's business. We talked about, you know, we've got a good, we got a better, and we got a best. No matter which one we do, whichever system fits your budget, which we understand ultimately they have the final say in how much money they're going to spend. Yep. Oh, and by the way, our $7,600 jobs, about 80% of them were financed even back then. And now you can finance, you know, on the phone. It's like no big deal. Back then we had to press hard 3 copies and take paper to the bank, right? It was.
That's carbon copies. I don't even know if the kids know what those things are now.
Well, yeah. This one didn't even have carbon, but these were NCR forms, so they were cool. Anyway, when you think about what customer decision making has, how it's changed too, because now they're pelted with so much different information from so many different places, and when they don't know who to believe. Right. Yeah. And when they see things like 118 unlicensed contractors get arrested in Hillsborough County, you know, when they see those kind of ads or those kind of news stories on the TV, we walk in as contractors, and I always remind people, think about the first 3 letters of the word contractor, right? We go in and we're already at a disadvantage unless we have a relationship with that customer. And you and I both know the best relationship with a customer involves a little thing called a maintenance agreement. I mean, how important is that to the relationship, but also to the increased value of your business?
Well, I mean, the reality of it is, it's apparently the undefeated way to be a successful contractor is the maintenance agreement. If you want to survive your high seasons and your low seasons, you've got to do maintenance. You know, you're doing maintenance on your car. You know, back in the day, we would laugh at people. It's like, oh man, my engine blew up. Well, why? Did you get your regular oil changes? A regular what? What's what? It was running fine until it blew. I was like, yeah, well, oil breaks down, and anything that you maintain will last longer. But also a maintenance agreement allows you to build a relationship with the customer, to let the customer know. We have one customer who said, Anton, everybody in my subdivision has changed their AC unit except for me. And I says, you know why, right? He's like, why? Because we've been maintaining it for the last 15 years. And I says, and we put it in. And when it's put in and it's put in right, it lasts. And now you can replace it on your terms. You're not going to wait till the middle of summer. You're going to say, we're going to let you know, hey, the average lifespan is 10 to 15. You're at 14 right now. It's humming along, but there's a little bit of a knock here. And we can take care of that for you at a convenient time, because things don't like breaking at convenient times.
Anton, I appreciate you again. And guys, if you guys want to learn more about how Anton does stuff, check out English Air. Is that it? EnglishAir.com?
EnglishAirInc.com.
Oh, yeah.
EnglishAirInc.com.
That's right. EnglishAirInc.com. If you're in the area, check in. Anton loves to show off. So it's all good, man. We appreciate you. And thanks so much for being a part of our leadership team at EGIA on the board of directors. We appreciate your insights in that way as well. So look forward to seeing you soon, buddy.
And likewise, take care.
You bet. All right. So this is David Holt with Anton Martin saying, see you next time. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Take it easy.